Right, come on, guys.
Good morning, everyone. It's very disappointing that a week later we're here over the same abuse that is happening in our community to these black women, to our black, brown, and brothers and sisters in general. But what is more disturbing is a mother with a 3-week-old baby.
Come on, talk about
going
it.
through postpartum.
Talk about it.
Traumatically traumatized.
Talk about it.
And there has leadership in these communities that says these sheriff deputies should not be held accountable. In the California state law for child safety belts, it's a $100 fine for your first offense for a child not to be in a seatbelt. In a car seat. Your second offense is $250 fine for not being in a car seat.
Come on.
So why are these women having their children snatched away from them, putting into DCFS, and then arrested and put charges on? Assaulted, punched in the face, only to have charges dismissed when she gets to court.
Tell it.
This is the environment that we are exposed to every day in the Antelope Valley. For the mayor of Palmdale to be working within the sheriff department is a conflict of interest. She cannot represent the city of Palmdale, doing the dirty work of the sheriff department, and expect us to listen when they have changes coming from their lips. We would like for all of them to step aside and let this community lead you into a better community.
Come on.
It's hard seeing mothers, black women, with those babies being taken away. Because sheriff department is not the only one we need to hold accountable. It's DCFS.
Come on.
It's the judges that sit in the courtroom who further lets these kids be taken away. In less than 6 months, you want a parent to sign her rights away and take their rights away. And next thing you'll know, we'll have 2 other little black kids adopted out into the system and then murdered, and we can't find their bodies.
That part. Politicians?
These kids need to be with their families. These officers need to be held accountable. And any deputy that was there at the scene of the incident, they need to be removed too, because you encourage it. And it's under your orders of color that you're supposed to interfere and tell a deputy, no, you're doing something against the law. We are not supposed to be treating a civilian like this. Y'all have to step up too, because when you don't speak up, you're just as guilty. All of you need to go. At this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Juanette from Cancel the Contract.
Hard to come behind my colleagues and my comrades in this struggle here in the Antelope Valley. I'm going to do my best to stay calm because the power structure wants us to be emotional. The power structure wants us to be emotional. And we got to move beyond the emotion and begin to organize to change anything in this city. And what they are afraid of is what you see behind me, a coalition of diverse folks. We got my brown brothers here and sisters. We got African Americans here. We even got our Caucasian brothers and sisters here. And so today, my goal is to bring a possible solution. I reached out to a good friend of mine named Connie Rice, who fought with LAPD and would sue them practically every year for change. And eventually we ended up with a chief of police named Charlie Beck. And Charlie Beck decided, I'm tired of being sued by Connie Rice. So they ended up sitting down, and Connie brought people like me to the table and other former gang members and incarcerated members that was incarcerated, and we sat down with Chief Beck. And what came out of that conversation over 3 years was a strategy. Y'all hear me? A strategy that can better help police deal with black folk and brown folk. And what we ended up doing, because we knew Watts was kind of all over the country, everybody knew about Watts, we ended up putting the program in Watts under the title Community Safety Partner. Community Safety Partner. It allows for community to do exactly what we're doing now, organize around rogue police. Let me be very clear, we're not anti-police.
Tell the truth, brother.
I'm gonna say that again.
Tell it.
Let me speak for myself.
Tell it.
I'm not anti-police.
No.
Because if somebody's breaking in my car or my
Come
house
on.
and I'm not at home to deal with it,
Come
you
on.
know who I'm calling?
That's right.
911.
911.
So let's make it very clear that we're
Yeah.
not anti-police,
That's right.
but we're anti-violence.
That's right. Anti-abuse.
And
I'm gonna say that again, anti-violence, whether it be law enforcement violence, whether it be community violence, youth violence, campus violence, we're anti-violence. And what we all witnessed today and what you heard is the story of a sister who was taken advantage of violently. And so I'm not here to talk about the story because we heard enough of the story. I'm here to call out every elected official that is not standing in unity with us. That's from the level of the mayor all the way down. Because at the end of the day, even though Sheriff Luna is the new administrator over the LA Sheriff Department, he cannot do his job effectively without the local leadership support.
Come on.
And what we heard today is the local leadership is not standing for this issue.
That's right.
So what is that telling us, brothers and sisters? That we have elected officials that need to be removed.
Come on.
So anybody that want to run for office,
Tell it.
sit down with this coalition
Got to go.
and come up with
Tell
a
it.
game plan so we can
right.
help these individuals get into office.
That's
So
right.
in Watts, what happened? When Connie Rice, civil rights attorney, hooked up with Charlie Beck, they created a model, and I would like to bring the model at some point to the Antelope Valley. The model is based on community-driven policing. I'm gonna say that again. It's not driven on suppression. It's driven on community-based policing. What is that? Well, when a phone call is made to this office, there should be a CSP representative from this community that get that phone call, that can get to that location to
Come on.
determine whether or not it can be de-escalated
Come on.
before it turned into what we saw on camera.
That's right.
That's what's happening in Watts. And as a result of that program, Watts have had minimized violence, not only in the streets, but with law enforcement. And then when we see this happening, after today, we got to call it out. So I'm honored to be in concert. Again, you got several organizations here, not just one. But I'm honored to be in concert with all of these agencies and individuals because this is how we're going to affect change. It's going to be through our operational unity that's going to affect change. We're putting everybody on notice today with the press conference. But we're going to move beyond just the action of having a protest or a press conference. We're finna move into the back door room now with us. And we're going to come up with policies on how do we best strategize and organize, because that's what they're afraid of. They can always pick us off when we in silos. But I'm here today to call us out. No more silos, period. We have to stay united. We have to stay together. And if we argue, we don't argue in public. If we have a disagreement, we don't disagree with each other in public. We can argue behind the door, behind the closed door. But when we come out with a unified front, black and brown and others. Thank you for your time. I'm going to now bring up Brother Love, who's on